Warning! The following program contains scenes of GamePar attempting to design his own redstone farm. Facepalm protection is advised. Hey there everyone, my name is GamePar and welcome back to another episode from the Minecraft Cafe. Grab your favorite hot beverage, grab a tasty snack, and join me as we play this wonderful game called Minecraft. I want to show you one thing that I've done in between episodes. I have increased the size of the creeper farm by 2 levels, and this thing is doing quite well. I'm really pleasantly surprised. Let me show you something really quickly. Here in my ender chest, I have an entire shulker box full to the brim of gunpowder, which is absolutely amazing. And then I've got a second shulker box here that is over half full now, and that is amazing. I was not expecting this to produce quite as well as it is, and so now I believe we've got 5 creeper spawning levels in there. I also went and got myself a couple extra cats, and then I thought, you know what I should do? I should breed them instead of going off and finding them in villages every single time. So I've got a few cats here sitting ready to go. I think I'm probably done with the cats, so they might just hang out as pets. I'm not sure, but yeah, so this thing is producing quite well. And also I've where's my rocket? Here are my rockets. I have, in the process of building this, decimated this birch forest island. Like, this is all the birch that's left on this island. I've opened up this whole section, which is good because we're gonna need it for industrial farms and different things like that. So that's a really good step. And I've AFK fished a little bit. I actually got to 99 XP levels, and I ended up improving my axe a little bit. So I'm back down to 89. But the XP generator, as far as AFK fishing, is pretty cool. The XP that you can get from disenchanting stuff is pretty cool, and I've collected most of that just while AFK fishing, and that is really cool that that's been working. I've been seeing creepers drop every so often. Obviously none when I'm recording. It wouldn't want to cooperate while I'm recording, but you know, we are in fact going to get into some redstone today, and I know I started out the episode last time saying that, but we definitely are going to get into some redstone today. We need to get the kelp farm going, and unlike my last kelp farm where I had to manually punch the kelp, this thing is going to be automated, and so it's just going to be continuously collecting kelp for us and automatically generating that. So that is going to be fantastic. We definitely need that to happen, and I'm wondering if I can set up an auto smelt where it'll automatically smelt the kelp for me, and maybe we can use our bamboo forest somehow to do that. But that might be a project for down the road. Let's get this thing automatically harvesting kelp to start with. And to do that, we're going to come back to my 114 test world, and I need to find an area that doesn't have slimes spawning all over the place. That was so incredibly annoying. So it looks like this area we are pretty safe from slimes. There's a nice little village over here, and we're just going to create our kelp farm prototype right here. So let me think about this for a few moments and we'll get right at it. I got really tired of those slimes spawning, so I did a little bit of research and I've generated a brand new 114 test world where I'm standing on level 41. Spawns for slimes don't happen above that level, so we should be all good and clear. Now I want to play around with let's see, the mechanics we want to use. So I think pistons is going to be the way that we want to harvest our kelp, and I understand that if you use slime blocks with pistons, let me get a lever to activate that, and we just need some junk block, so let's just grab some stone. Okay, so I'm gonna warn you, I'm not a redstone person, so I have very limited knowledge about redstone, but my understanding is if I hit this switch right now, all 3 of these slime blocks are going to move forward. Okay, that works. Now, how many of these slime blocks can we add on each side and still have this work. 5 on either side works. Six on either side does not work. What if I take 1 off here? Okay, so I can do 6 on one side, 5 on the other for a total of 12. That bang you just heard was Henry next door. He's playing hockey in the driveway, and I think the puck just hit the garage door. All right, so we can do a run of 6 blocks. Now, what I'm really curious about is how we stop this from getting stuck on stuff. Because if we do this and we do this, are those slime blocks gonna get stuck? Yes, they are stuck. So yep, Henry's still playing hockey. What kind of block does slime not stick to? What about furnaces? Do slimes stick to furnaces? Oh. So I could build the wall using furnaces. So this should work, right? Except I need to build them on the retracted side. All right, I've got my furnaces in place. If I hit the switch, that happens. Okay, that's a good start. My other question is, if I build a duplicate on this side and both are retracted, is the slime gonna stick together? Let's retract this. Let's retract, or extend, I guess is the right word. So now these 2 layers of slime are touching. Can I? No, I can't. Okay. To build this, we are going to have to essentially do 1 lane at a time and then reproduce this over and over again. So now that that is cleaned up, let's see, I'm gonna need a lane for the kelp and the water, and then I'm gonna need to have furnaces where the slime extends. So I could do a row of cheap material and then do the furnaces like so. And then I could reproduce this side over here with the mechanics on this side. Yeah, so that's what I think I'm gonna do. But I'm just gonna clear this away so I can see where my center lane is here. So there's my divider wall. I'm going to recreate this unit over on this side. And I'm gonna have to move this back a block because it's too close. Here we are. So I've got 2 lanes of the proposed kelp farm in place. Now, if I want to conserve space and create another module on this side, let's see, so this is the side that has 6. I could potentially, how do I do this in the least amount of space possible? Now, I'm not going to, I guess now would be a good idea to figure out how I'm gonna power these things. Will redstone, again, I'm an utter redstone noob, okay? So where's my actual redstone dust? Here we go. Will redstone running underneath power the piston? Maybe I'm not close enough. Okay, does it have to work like this? Is this gonna work? Okay, that's gonna work. would it work coming in behind like this? No. And it won't work this way. So it has to go in here. Got it. Is there... Okay, this is what I think I want to try to do. Do this. And I need to replace that and that. If I have... So are these slimes going to stick to this piston? Let's see what happens here. Let's activate. Okay, so I can't put a piston there because then it all sticks. So that means I'm going to have to use a little more space than I thought I would. So our pistons are going to have to be a block offset from each other so that they don't stick the next row behind. But that might not be bad because we do need space for redstone. So let me get a duplicate model of this set up here on this side, and then we'll work on figuring out how we can trigger this thing. So far I've got this whole unit here, and then I've got one side of the secondary unit, and I think that's probably going to be enough to test out this thing. So I'm gonna try to figure out what we can do as far as triggering this. And I think our best bet is going to be hooking it up to a daylight sensor. That way it runs once per day. The only issue is that we'll have to be careful how big we build this farm. Otherwise, setting off too much kelp breaking at once each day is going to create huge lag spikes, I think. So let's just connect up what we have here. We'll create the tank, create the area for the kelp, hook it all up to daylight sensors, and see if this works. The test tanks for kelp are built. I'm just going to put in the kelp, and then I'm going to start getting the water filled, and I'll probably manually grow the kelp for this whole testing phase. Our test kelp is in place, so my next job is to, well, let's get rid of that so we don't accidentally trigger this thing. But my next job is to see if I can hook these up so that I can, for a moment I thought I needed the piston on that side. No, I'm going to see if I can hook these up to a daylight sensor and get it all to activate at once. Here we go! I don't know if I've done this right, but if I've done this right, then, so I've got redstone lines going to each of the pistons, and I've got my repeaters to keep the signal going. If I put this right and I lay down this sensor, everything activated. Perfect. But how do I get it to retract? How do I get that to function as a momentary switch? We also have a problem where the slime, I think, stuck to the glass. So we're going to need to put Ferni down there to prevent the pistons from sticking. Things I'm learning on the fly, folks. Learning on the fly. So how do we get a daylight sensor to turn into a momentary switch? That's the question I need to figure out. And I might have to break down and research this. I suppose the other option is that I just build this thing on a redstone clock, which I also will have to research. So I just had to step away from my computer for a few moments, and I think I might have come up with a more simple idea. So I was using a daylight sensor, but if I change that to a nighttime sensor and hook that up, every time it turns night, it's going to activate. But because we are on a multiplayer survival server, people sleep. And so nighttime won't stick around for very long. And so most of the time it's going to be day. It's going to turn night quickly. And that should actually provide for our momentary switch. So I'm going to put down a bed. Let's do a nice little blue bed here. Let's put down a bed. And we are going to set it to nighttime. That should activate the switch, and then when I sleep it should switch it back. So let's try this out. Okay, so that worked. However, this did not. Okay, what if I put these pistons back to back? Fight the water. There we go. That's the way I'm gonna have to do it, probably. And slime. Let's break this. Let's put this block down. No, that's not a block. Let's put this block down. Redstone. Redstone. What did I do wrong? What has gone wrong? Do I have to avoid this redstone? What if I do a repeater directly into each of those? Will that work? Aha! Okay. That is our solution. I should probably do the same thing over here just to make sure that we don't get any issues going on. Oh, right. I need a block here and redstone. Okay, now if I sleep, it's going to turn it to day, and that should retract the pistons, which it looks like it did. Perfect. I think we have a functioning system. It is getting close to nighttime. Kelp has grown. Some of it has reached the top level. Much of it hasn't. I'm going to have to do a bit of a test to see how much growth will actually happen in one Minecraft day, because we want to build this thing to be fairly efficient, and to do that we only want to build it as high as the kelp could possibly grow in one Minecraft day. There's no point building it super tall if it's only going to grow, say, 5 levels in one day. We want to just be able to harvest efficiently. So I'm going to wait for it to naturally become nighttime, and I want to see this thing functioning. There we go. It has all worked as expected. Now, if I sleep in the bed, it should... I can't quite sleep yet. So it activates before sleep is possible, but then sleep happens. And there we go. Everything is back where it belongs. There we go. We have a functioning kelp farm. Now, I just had a thought. The last time I built a kelp farm, I had a water flow collection system that pushed all of the kelp to one side. And I was thinking, you know, how wide could we make this going this way that a collection system would work? But then I thought, maybe the collection system will work this way, like going sideways. And then we can just line up these units as long as we want, and the water will flow this way to a collection system. So let me go back to my world download and see how I built that water collection system in the first place, and see if that might be a viable option. I think it might actually be. So unfortunately, the water flow collection system that we had on the other kelp farm was very specific to the way that that one was built and won't work here. So we're going to need to develop a water flow system from scratch. We are getting close to nighttime coming back, and well, growth has been kind of slow. We've maxed out at 3 high on the kelp. So it's not been huge. Now, I've just realized perhaps we could use the same basic idea to do a bamboo farm. It hasn't grown more than 3 high, so if we take this thing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high, that's probably good enough. We could do 6 just to give us a little bit of extra headroom, but this thing won't need to be too tall in order to function, and I think we'll get the efficiency out of it by duplicating, like multiplying these units. I was also thinking I might be able to just run water streams going sideways off of these sections and having multiple water streams running to a centralized hopper collection area to collect these. So yeah, perhaps we will just make this like super long with several of these sections, and then we will kind of do a split water stream system. I'll have to play around with that, but that could work. So now we need to take this and do it in the Minecraft Cafe. But what that's going to involve is a whole lot of slime hunting on my part, which is going to take me a good chunk of time. So yeah, I think it's going to be just some grindy time getting slime over in that swamp. So it'll be just a few seconds for you, but for me, I'm going to spend a lot of time grinding out some slime blocks. Several hours later, and I'm back on the Minecraft Cafe, and I've been able to collect for myself 39 slime blocks, which I think is pretty good. I've also done a bunch of mining to get the cobblestone that I need for all of the furnaces because, well, you know, I don't generally keep cobblestone because I don't really use it a lot. So yeah, this is kind of where I'm at the moment. So I need to get the slime blocks in, and then I need to get it all watered up. Actually, I should probably test these first, shouldn't I? Yeah, that would probably be a good thing to do, but I'm going to get these slime blocks in here. We'll test the pistons, and then get it filled up and get it starting to grow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do several cells going down beside this. The water is going to push the broken kelp to either side, where it will be collected by water streams. I'm just thinking I'm probably going to have to leave a 3 gap between the 2 sections of these because I'm going to need a centralized location to collect the kelp on either side. We'll see how that plays out. So what I'm placing down right now is not the permanent fix for this, but it's just in order to test to make sure that this is working appropriately, because we need to hook up our circuit to the daylight sensor, but that looks like it's pushed in properly. Let's make sure it properly retracts. There we go. Okay. So we are set to go on this piston. Now let's test the one over on this side. Okay. All of the slime pushed in and it all retracted. Okay. So that is working as expected. I can now go in and put the water in, let the kelp start to grow, and I will get working on the next module. Water streams are in place. Kelp is growing quite nicely. I just finished getting this one in. I wanted to take advantage of a full moon to try to get as much slime as possible. I do have enough slime to make one more of these kind of pods, but I think I want to get the collection system started on this unit first before I move on to building more, so that I know what we're going to be doing here. And if I can get it started, I can actually start producing kelp. So let's work on that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I need to put signs all along here to prevent the kelp from growing and turning flowing water into source block water. And I just realized that I'm going to need to completely change this up because I need to put some ice down on this ledge, and I don't really want to break these blocks and have water flowing out all over the place. So I'm going to make this one more high. I also just realized that having 3 blocks wide in between is actually going to be to our benefit, because then I've got a wall that the kelp can hit and fall down into the water collection stream. So essentially, collection stream, wall, collection stream, unit, and that's the way it's going to work out. All I'm doing is I'm moving the source block up 1 level. That way I don't have to go back and get new source blocks. Now we're going to put our signs back in place. Just got back from fighting slimes, and I got a good chunk of slime here. Let's see what that translates into. 10 slimes, not bad for one night. Usually I get about 5, but and I can make an extra 1. But the amount of mobs that were starting to come out was ridiculous. Man, local difficulty in hard mode sure does ramp up quite quickly. So the plan is, should it work properly, that I can put water here, and water here, and all the way along here. It's going to push items this way. It's going to fly off here, fall into our collection streams along here and in the middle. And looks like the water's behaving exactly the way I anticipated it. Let me get this in and let's see what happens. And the water has worked perfectly predictably. So let's say I throw my bucket in here, right? It's gonna pop up to the top. Oh, well, they might not all be water source blocks yet. I didn't think about that. You know, I should probably make sure that these are all water source blocks. Let me go get some kelp and do that. That is working perfectly. I broke one just to test it out, and it went exactly the way it was supposed to. It fell off the edge here. There we go. I believe all of the kelp is fully grown, turning all of the extra blocks into source water blocks. So I believe the next thing I need to do is create the collection stream, which is then going to take everything to a centralized collection stream, where it'll be then put into a hopper system to load shulker boxes. Essentially, I'm going to build the exact same sort of collection system that I did last time I built a kelp farm. The only difference is it's going to be more modular and collecting from there to the central collection system. So I'm going to need to put ice on either side. The tricky part's going to be measuring out my water streams. Ooh, creepers are falling. I love that. So I'm going to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where we're going to have our collection system. What can I just put down here quickly? How about a cobblestone block? Also, I need a quick way of getting it up here. Hold on. Still using dirt scaffolding. I still don't have enough string to make real scaffolding. So we're going to make use of some old tricks here. So, oh, that's not where I wanted to put that. That needs to go here. And it'll be open. And so this will stop water flowing through. That'll start here, flow here, stop here. We'll put our water source in here to catch anything that's falling. This will end exactly here to drop items off into the collection area. If you're wondering why I'm building this all out of glass, it's because I want to see everything that's going on here. I want to be able to see this process happening, because it's just really cool. Backtracking just a little bit, I just realized it's going to be really hard for me to put the water source blocks in if this is all closed up right away. All right, we are putting a water source block here, and we are putting a water source block here, and then we're gonna put one down at this end. I don't think I've got this closed off properly yet. Everything about the way I did this end was wrong. All right, let's get our other source block in here. Perfect. That is the water collection area. Let's close it off so we don't lose anything out of it. And we're going to give this collection system a test run. What I've got going on here is a temporary collection system. Eventually, items will fall down here, fall into another collection stream where they will collect from all of these lanes into a central collection system. But I've just got a hopper here at the moment so that we don't lose items as they're being collected. I've got the redstone in place just to do the test. let's test this thing out. So far, so good, and looks like we have a successful collection system. And when we take that off, it retracts, and then the kelp is going to be able to grow once again. And actually, it looks like we already have a piece that has grown. So this is proof of concept done. What I need to do is reproduce this as many times as I want down this line, and we'll also need to get it hooked up to the daylight sensor. Let's see if I can do that now. So I definitely have all the resources that I need for a daylight sensor, so let's get this thing made and hooked up to our system. Now I'm gonna hook it up temporarily. We will move it. I don't know where it's going to live to start with, so for now we're going to maybe bury it right. That doesn't work the way I thought it did. Okay, so what that actually means is that we're going to... That'll work. There we go. Bury our wiring underground. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put my redstone underneath it like that. I'm going to put... I don't have a repeater. Do I have repeaters? I don't know if I have repeaters or not. No, I don't have repeaters. Let's make some repeaters. Let's quickly change this to a nighttime sensor. Throw our repeater in here. If we switch it to a daylight sensor, we can see that it works. So for now, we're going to cover this back up with grass just so that it looks nice and neat and tidy. And this will all be hidden inside, so that's good. So once it hits nighttime, and we still got a little ways to go, we should see that this functions. And we've got some kelp collected. Awesome. Done a little bit of cleanup work so that we've got something that's going to be a little bit more permanent in here. So I've got wiring running to the daylight sensor, which is just over here. That should be far enough away that it won't be obstructed by any of the build. And I've got the repeater here. So if I switch this to nighttime sensor, it should activate. There we go. And if I change it back, it should activate again. And we've got kelp coming out. So that is pretty cool. If we want to just manually activate it, that means we just need to do that and we can manually activate it. So it's going to be set to nighttime the way it's supposed to be. And I'm going to go sleep. So if everything's been done properly, yep, the piston has retracted and the kelp can grow another day. Perfect. All right, well, that is essentially the farm in place. And we do have a temporary collection system for now. It's not going to be the biggest or greatest collection system. I might put a chest there just to get us by for the moment. Or, actually, you know what? I could just put shulker boxes directly underneath here. I don't need another centralized collection system. That could work. That would save me a lot of time and effort. You know what? I might seriously consider that. But you know what? That is all the time that I have for today's episode. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I really do. If you have, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel or you haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today and make me a very happy GamePar. As always, I do suggest checking out the channels of the other Minecraft Cafe members. It's well worth your time. Links will be in the description. But for now, this has been GamePar doing redstone and successfully doing it, I should add, on the Minecraft Cafe. Have a great day, everyone.
Avery, what should everybody do?
Subscribe.
That's right. Subscribe.